Back in the shoe for Game 2 of this Saturday Hoops doubleheader between Coker and Lenoir-Rhyne. About 7 minutes away from tip in the men's game, in a game that both of these two teams desperately need to win. As we welcome you courtside here inside the shoe, Eric Bach and Blake Simmons, so glad you're with us. If this game lives up to the hype of that women's game and the way that ended, then we should be in for a treat. The Bears coming off two maddening games against Carson Newman and Wingate that saw them lead at halftime but end up losing the game. They're shorthanded today. Point guard leading scorer Jalen Johnson unavailable, COVID protocols. TJ Naismith will not play. He's their third leading scorer and catalyst in the front court. So the Bears majorly shorthanded today and will turn to Kevin Kangu to carry a lot more of the scoring burden, as he did on Wednesday night in the Wingate game. So the Bears, kind of a patchwork team today. Nas Tyson's not at 100%, but he's going to give it a go after he sprained his ankle in practice a couple days ago. So we'll see what kind of team the Bears roll out here today with a lot of guys, a lot of important guys missing. And for Coker, trying to avenge a three-point loss to LR back on the Thanksgiving week as we've reached through the second cycle of games here in SAC conference play. They've lost 4 straight and haven't really been competitive in those games. Newberry, Wingate, Carson Newman, and Tusculum haven't really been competitive against any of those teams, but an opportunity, as I mentioned, with a shorthanded LR team to steal one today for Coker as we take a look at our keys to the game presented by Fry Regional Medical Center. It's really pretty simple for the Bears. Better one-on-one defense, protect the paint. You will see a lot of zone defense from Coker, as they did against Carson Newman a week ago, and adjust to that changing defense. But shorthanded, Blake, anything they can get from anyone today is a bonus.
Absolutely. The coaches have talked about their depth since the beginning of the year, and now's a time that we're going to be able to see some of that depth in a more expanded role as opposed to just spot minutes or role minutes. So it's a good opportunity for some guys who don't get as many minutes to step in and produce and hopefully take advantage of the time they're given. And keys to the game-wise, it all starts with better one-on-one defense. That helps defense overall. No rotations, no getting into the paint. So if they're able to just stay in front of the ball, guard the ball, don't get beat, it'll help everything defensively.
Those are your keys to the game presented by Fry Regional Medical Center. We will have lineups and a head-to-head matchup coming up next after this break on the Bears Sports Network.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Welcome back inside the shoe. A few minutes away from tip between Lenoir-Rhyne and Coker as we look at our head-to-head matchup for today. I mentioned Jalen Johnson and TJ Naismith both out for the Bears, and Kevin Kangu, the man on the right there for LR, 11.5 points per game, 42%. Best LR three-point shooter at 39%. And for Coker, it's Williams Onioti. That's a little bit of a mouthful there, but these two won't necessarily match up a whole lot on the floor guarding each other, but Onioti has been the most consistent Cobra this year, 11.5 points per game, shoots it over 50% from the field, 5 rebounds, 64% from the free throw line. So in a season that for head coach Jared Merrill has just been, up and down, a lot of inconsistency of players available even. So Onioti has been the surest thing that Coker has had going for him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been like you said, the most consistent player for them this year. And they're looking, they feel like obviously they got to feel like they got a chance. I mean, even with the two guys, they're pretty much neck and neck in the standings with LR. And now the LR has pretty much lost their two best players over the last month and a half of the year. They got to feel pretty good about their chances to come in here and get away with a win. So
Kangu's been in double figures in 6 of his last 7, including 19 points in 37 minutes. Played just about every second of that Wingate game on Wednesday night. As we take a look at our starting lineups presented by Everett Chevrolet. First for Coker, DeMar Anderson, Jordan Jones, Janarius Snell, Christopher Fordham, and Onioti. It's a starting 5. This has been a pretty consistent 5 for Coker, but outside of this 5, it's been wildly inconsistent this year for the Cokers for the Cobras as far as availability and everything like that. As we take a look now at the LR starting lineup, couple changes obviously with Naismith and Johnson out. Sal Wilson starts. Tyson McLean gets his second straight start. Naz Tyson, he's not 100%, but good enough to give it a whirl today. And Naz has been great of late. He's got 15, 21, and 21 in his last 3 against really good competition, the last 2 against Carson Newman and Wingate. And Cooper Fowler, you mentioned off the air that you expect Coop to be a big factor today. He played well in the Wingate game, 14. He always seems to play well against Wingate, 14 points in 22 minutes in that one. But, I mean, there are people that can step up for the Bears in Naismith and Johnson's absence. They just got to get that production from those guys.
Yeah, everybody in the starting lineup at one point has proven that they can maybe not be the go-to scorer, but definitely a secondary option, a really good secondary option, whether it's this year or the years in the past. So it's not like they have unproven guys stepping in. Like at some point, like we mentioned, at some point they've all been productive. So it's a good chance, like we mentioned, for them to show what they can do in a little more expanded role.
Starting lineups presented by Everett Chevrolet. Ready for a nicer, newer ride. Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac is always here to help by providing family-friendly customer care since 1967. Visit them in person at one of their 2 convenient locations in Hickory and Morganton, or start your search online at everettchevy.com. A couple minutes away from tip. We'll take one more break, and then coming up next is the tip of Coker Lenoir-Rhyne on the Bears Sports Network.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work, introducing True Energy Infrared Technology Socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Back here in the shoe, ready to roll between Coker and Lenoir-Rhyne in Game 2 of our Hoops doubleheader today on the Bears Sports Network. A couple of key pieces out today for the Bears, but this is a game the Bears have already won this year. They were in control of that game in Hartsville back in November for about 36 minutes, and then Coker made a late push, but LR was able to hold them off, and will look to do the same today. Fowler wins the tip. Kangu, an off-balance 3 to start. Tyson, the offensive rebound. The ankle looks just fine as Naz has the first 2 for the Bears.
maybe a little forced shot there to start. It looked a little off balance, but Knobs was able to clean it up and continue his hot start, or the hot play that he's had the last 3 games.
Tough 2 there for Christopher Fordham. Redshirt sophomore from Moncks Corner, South Carolina. And there's that zone that we expected from Coker. There will be open threes out of this zone for the Bears if they can knock them down, which they've been shooting it better recently from the outside. There was a stretch there in late December, early January. The Bears were just miserable from behind the three-point line, but has picked up the past week or so. Jordan Jones off the bounce. Fowler whistled for the foul. Had the ball, but a lot of the arm too. And the first foul of the game goes on the big man from Greenville, South Carolina.
Like you mentioned, we've already seen the zone defense from Coker. Like the Keys said, it's just recognizing. I think the first part is recognizing zone defense so you can get into something pretty quick and you're not wasting time. The shot clock time trying to figure out what to do. So we've already seen it, like we mentioned. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how much they switch, or if it's effective, they probably just stay in it.
Raymond Bellamy, freshman from Suffolk, Virginia, comes in off the bench quickly here for Jared Merrill. Jones splits the pair. Nas tight. Back. Throws it ahead to Fowler. Ahead of the pack, and Coop drops it in.
Poor decision by Nas there, but able to get it back on that steal, and was able to find Coop, who just hadn't quite made his way back, and for the easy layup.
Expect Malik Lagania to be available today after he did not play on Wednesday. He's had some back problems as well. There's a physical drive by Janarius Snell. He drops it in off the glass. 8.5 points per game for him. It's a young Coker team. Only a couple seniors that see significant minutes. Then another turnover for the Bears. Already 2 turnovers for LR. They're one of the best turnover teams in Division II, just over 10 a game.
Yeah, 2 for Nas. Nas, I think, thought Cooper was a little closer to the rim than he was, and just threw an easy bounce pass, which is stolen by Coker.
Snell too strong with the 3. Wilson runs down the rebound in front of his bench. Last 2 Saturdays, we've seen 2 zone teams inside the shoe. Carson Newman a week ago, Coker today. Bears did well with that zone against Carson Newman for a lot of the game, but just went cold in the second half as Fowler buries the 3 from the corner.
It's got to feel good for Coop to hit that first 3s. Overall, he struggled this year shooting it.
I think that they gave the points to the wrong team on the scoreboard. There's a 3 from the corner that's an air ball for Onioti. The score is 7-5 LR as Kangu back-to-back 3s for the Bears. Forces a Coker timeout. Kangu with 1, Fowler with another. Just a 30-second timeout. As the score is actually 10-5 LR, and we're getting it corrected at the scores table right now. Take this opportunity to tell you about Southside Power and Fitness. They provide an exclusive discount for almost 50% off for LR faculty, staff, and students. Experience what Southside has to offer at SouthsidePF.com. The only limit is you. So it should, they're still working on the scoreboard.
They're figuring it out.
Because there it is. Our scorebook that you see on the screen is wired into the actual scoreboard here inside of Shuford Gym. So now it's right. 5 quick points for Cooper Fowler as he takes a seat. Lagania, Tim Steele come in. So the smaller lineup out there right now, but Coker is just a smaller team. Tend to have some trouble with those bigger teams like Carson Newman. Is an offensive foul there. The Snell went right through the chest of his defender. Good job by McLean there to draw it. So the first foul on the Cobras. Tim Steele, who's been shooting it better recently, as Nas Tyson buries the three from the wing. So 3 early threes here for the Bears, who are off to a hot shooting start.
It's got to feel good for Coach Sullivan and the staff. See those threes drop early, which they did against Wingate too.
Yeah.
Hot start against Wingate, so the goal is to continue that hot start.
Bears made 6 threes in the first half against Wingate and were up 11 at halftime. Ended up losing by 8. Jaron Cottingham went crazy in the second half. Lagana off the feed from Steele. Back in the lineup after he missed the Wingate game. Another open 3 for Kangu. Top of the circle, doesn't get the roll. But Malik Lagana, you mentioned the last broadcast, he's had so many injury troubles. Malik's got an extra vertebrae in his back. So that, as you can imagine, can cause some problems when you are playing a sport like basketball where it's constant stress on your back and up and down.
Oh, yeah.
Behind the back there for Snell as he buries that short corner jumper.
Pretty good D there from Tim, forcing him into a step-back jumper. I think the Bears coaching staff will live with that all day if that's the shots they're going to take.
Still the zone for Coker. They won't be exclusively zone. The pass, the right idea there from McLean, but too tall for Steele. Already 3 turnovers here in the first 5+ minutes for the Bears. As Damian Medwinter heads to the table. Fordham. Open look. Knocked down there by Glenn Bynum Jr., the freshman from Mint Hill, North Carolina. Averages just under 6 points per game. First 3 of the game for Coker cuts the lead down to 3. Lagana's pass intercepted and another turnover for the Bears. Without Johnson and Naismith out there, those are the 2 guys that are the leaders of protecting the basketball, so it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't had our under 16 media, so the next whistle will take us there. 8 to shoot. Jones, crossover, kick. Good ball movement for Coker. Another 3 for the Cobras and Snell.
A little miscommunication there on the ball screen coverage. Gave Coker a straight line drive to the rim. They were able to kick it out for open 3. Tie up the game here with 13:30 left.
8-0 run for the Cobras over the last 2.5 minutes. Sends us to the under 16 media timeout, tied at 13. So the Cobras shooting their way back into this one early on the Bears Sports Network. Back here inside the shoe. Bears Sports Network happy to be sponsored by David E. Looper. When looking for a general contractor, you need someone you can depend on, and you certainly want someone with the ability you require. You can depend on David E. Looper to respond to your needs from timeliness to budget. And if you need to know more, check out our website at delcompany.com. Bears, both teams actually, 5 for 8 from the floor here in the first 6.5 minutes of this one. Bears have made 3 threes. Coker has made 2. But both teams' offense rolling here to start. It'll be LR basketball with 18 on the shot clock out of the timeout. Lagana will trigger in front of the Coker bench. Cobras back to zone. Kangu doubled. backs it out with 5. Kevin will just have to pull a long 3 and finds nothing but nets. Not the ideal possession there for the Bears, but it worked out. Kevin's second 3.
Yeah, Coker kind of dropped off there at the end of the clock, and Kevin was able to get a pretty uncontested look. Was able to knock it down.
6 early points for Kangoo, coming off 19 on Wednesday night at Wingate. Crossover there, and free throws coming for Glenn Bynum Jr. Got a step on his defender, and the foul's on Tim Steele.
That's going to be the challenge for Tim all day, especially with these smaller Coker guards, just trying to keep him in front on the perimeter.
It's not an ideal matchup when you have Steele guarding a smaller guard. He tends to work better on defense when he's guarding someone even bigger than him.
Absolutely. He's got pretty good IQ, so he can hold his own on the perimeter to a certain extent, but at a certain point, quickness will just win the battle.
Bynum makes both free throws. He's got 5 quick points here for Coker. Medwinter. Nas Tyson stepped out of bounds on the sideline.
Nas struggling with turnovers here early. 3, I think, in the first 12. That's the de facto, point guard.
That's right. I was just going to make the same point that you did. He's being asked to do more of the ball handling than he's used to. Johnson out. Expect this one to be a slugfest as these two still fighting for their lives. Both out of the SAC tournament right now, but the schedule lightens up for LR. 2 to shoot. Rise and fire 3 for Bynum off the heel. The ball tipped and grabbed by Kangoo in the corner. Damian Medwinter getting some more run of late. Had played 16 minutes on Wednesday night, scored 5 points at Wingate. Kangoo on the drive, rise and fire, doesn't get the roll. Lagana on the glass. Can't get the roll on that possession.
Good activity by Malik there. He'll have a few of those chances going against the zone, a little bit harder to box out for Coker. So there should be a few more offensive rebound, put-back attempts for the Bears. We'll see how that pans out.
Another 3 rattles in for Snell. That's his second 3. Scored 12 points in only 20 minutes in the first meeting. Back before Thanksgiving, feels like an eternity ago. Ball tipped in the corner. Medwinter rise and fire 3, and that spins down and in. Already the 5th 3 of the first half for the Bears. They regain the lead by a point. Jones off the bounce, 10 to shoot. Steele gives him some cushion. Snell, Jones straight away, too strong. Good defensive possession there for the Bears. Tyson looking to push to the rim, stripped, and it'll stay with the Bears as Jones was on the floor, and that'll take us to the under 12 timeout. Back and forth we go in the first 10 minutes of this one. A 1-point lead for LR on the Bears Sports Network.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Back to the Bears Sports Network, presented by NBA Roofing. This timeout presented by Emerge Ortho, the official sports medicine provider for the Bears, with 45 locations in 21 counties, from the mountains to the coast. Emerge Ortho. I always get tripped up on that Emerge Ortho is North Carolina's premier provider, providing world-class, comprehensive, and compassionate care for Lenoir-Rhyne student athletes. 1 point lead for the Bears. 10:15 to go before halftime. Only 4 Bears have scored: Kangu, Tyson, Fowler, and Medwinter, but 5 threes, including 2 from Kevin Kangu. 5 threes and 2 twos so far in this game for the Bears.
Yeah, the Bears have started, both teams have started pretty hot from the field, and 3 overall. They're combined 8 for 15 combined from 3, so fast start for both teams offensively.
Got to shoot it well over the zone, and the Bears have so far. Fowler spinning to his dominant hand. That's too easy for the big man there.
Yeah, he'll have a size advantage all night against this team. It's just about being patient, taking the right shots.
Marcus Metcalf in the game. It's called for a blocking foul in the restricted area.
Couldn't see, but looked like he was set. I don't know if he was.
Definitely was set. And the basket went in for Coker.
Yeah. Unfortunate turn of events.
Onioti, that's his first 2 of the game, and now he'll go to the line for 1. Oh, okay, was it 1 or 2? Because the official under the basket was saying that so we have some confusion here. So it's LR basketball because Onioti just had 1 free throw and he made it. So the Bears will have it now, and a little bit of full court pressure from Coker, and it turns into a turnover. Pass was too high for McLean, and Tyson promptly heads back to the scorer's table. Jones around 2 defenders, gives it off. Onioti just puts it right up and in. That play was made by Jordan Jones, who's off to a great start today.
Yeah, Coker came out with a little pressure after the free throw, forced the Bears into a turnover, was able to capitalize with a lay-in.
McLean, an open look, top of the circle, off the front iron. Rebound corralled by Snell. Speaking of Snell, Ozark's out. It's my new favorite show. Or it's not my new favorite show. It's just my favorite show, and the new season came out.
Haven't gotten into it yet, but I've heard great things.
You should. Well worth your time. But no, I'm not getting paid to say that. Jones, Onioti, good 2-man game. Missed everything. Wilson the rebound. Sal was your pick for the offensive breakout man today for the Bears. Fowler off the heel from the corner. Metcalf reaches in and gets called for the foul.
Looked like a jump ball.
Jump ball or maybe a no call. But that's 2 fouls on Metcalf because he got called for the one in the restricted area. So he'll stay in with the 2. Tyson, Naz Tyson that is, comes in for Medwinter. Just the 3rd foul on LR, so 2 of them on Metcalf.
Been a pretty clean game so far, foul-wise on both sides.
Feels like most of the LR home games are like that. There's not a ton of fouls, which is a good thing. Jones. Anderson, an open look, spins out. McLean wrestles the rebound away. Tyson passed up an open 3 and a blocking foul called.
Nas might have gotten away with one there. It looked like Coker had pretty good position, but the Bears will take it.
And with that, we'll go to the under 8 media. 2-point lead for Coker as things have quieted down offensively over the past couple minutes on the Bears Sports Network.
Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
$7:54 to go before halftime. 2-point lead for Jared Merrill's Cobras over the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears. This timeout presented by Southeast Retirement Planners. What is your game plan to reach your financial goals? Call LR alums Ryan Edwards, Les Stewart, Bob Fincher and the team at Southeast Retirement Planners to help you put a successful game plan in place. So far, successful game plan for the Bears has been the outside shooting. 5 for 9 from 3. 4 different guys have made a three-pointer here for LR in the opening 20 minutes. What you got to do against a zone team like Coker, who looks to be in man-to-man here out of this timeout. That was one of our keys to the game. Adjust to changing defenses. But now back into the zone.
Yep. It's a little bit easier based on a bounce just to go man as opposed to zone. And then they will get back into the zone.
Wilson tries to get into the middle of it and almost turns it over. Tyson will. Ball's tipped out of bounds by the Cobras. 3 on the shot clock, so the Bears will have to hurry after this inbound.
This is what the zone just kind of just gets you out of a rhythm. You're so used to going against man in practice games, and when you see a zone, especially a 3-2, which isn't probably the main zone.
Fowler just has to chuck and almost made it.
2-3 is usually a zone, so 3-2 is just a little different. And so it's just a little different how you attack it. But like you said, the Bears' hot start has helped them, but I'm sure Coach Sullivan's talked about trying to get into it, into the middle, whether that's block, baseline, or free throw line a little more.
So this is a 3-2 zone as opposed to what Carson Newman does at 2-3. The Bears in the zone themselves here. Jones off the bounce, almost traveled. Open 3 for Anderson at the shot clock buzzer, short. Wilson runs down the rebound. Quick hands on defense so far for Coker. It's forced 6 LR turnovers, which is way more than the Bears are accustomed to.
Yep, I can hear Coach Sullivan telling them to drive the zone.
Kangu knocks that one down. Off the bounce. 8 points for Kevin. 3 for 6 from the floor. Deflection there for Tyson leads to the steal for McLean. Off the good help defense from Fowler. Kangu pick and pop. Off the front iron. Ball tipped around and will stay with LR as Anderson was not able to grab that rebound. And they'll put 20 on the shot clock. And P.J. Joseph will come in. P.J. was in COVID protocols the last 2 games, but back available today. Transfer from Oakland University, native of Brooklyn, New York. Especially with Naismith unavailable, got to have some more guys with some production in the front court because Fowler can't play the whole game as Wilson stutter-stepped and traveled there. Their coaching staff shorthanded as well as Riley McGillen, assistant coach, is in COVID protocol. So just Everett Sullivan and Trey Johnson on the bench. Coaching their butts off, all 3. That one spun all the way out. But Oniati was there.
Yeah, PJ tried to box him out, just wasn't able to quite. Oniati was just a little too quick for him to the ball.
2-point lead for Coker, just over 5 to go in the first half. Joseph avoided the turnover, gets it to Kangu. He's got his third three of the first half, and the first Bear to double figures.
He's come out aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if the coach staff talked to him about his increased scoring role with Jalen and TJ out.
Absolutely have to have a go-to scorer, as Nas Tyson's whistled for the foul there. That's his first. The fifth on LR. Coker's only committed 2 fouls here in the first 15 minutes of the game. A Coker team that's not terribly deep. Can't really afford to get in foul trouble, so they're off to a good start in that department. Jordan Jones misses the first free throw off the left iron. Jordan, the sophomore from Florence, South Carolina. Trinity Burns Collegiate School. Splits the pair. Most of Coker's, well, 70% of Coker's roster is from the Palmetto State, as the clock didn't run right away, so they'll take some time off. Might be a little equipment malfunction down there. Women's lacrosse coach Carly Buck on the clock as always. They had their first scrimmage of their season. All of a sudden it's lacrosse season here at LR.
Coming fast, all the spring sports getting ready to kick off.
15 days away from the first baseball game too, which is hard to believe with all the snow on the ground. Wilson between the legs turns it over. An uncharacteristic 8 turnovers in the first half for the Bears. They only averaged just over 10 a game.
Yep. The zone's thrown them off a little bit turnover-wise. They've either gotten a pretty good look or turned it over, it seems like, this first 15 minutes of this first half. That'll be something they want to focus on. It's just cutting down on those turnovers like you mentioned.
Tied at 26. Joseph walls up and steals that one.
Great job. Help by PJ there, just coming over, walling up, going straight up. Not giving him a chance to call a foul.
Misses too strong on the other end. Been a quick first half. Already under 4 to go. Snell, he and Jones have been the focal points of the offense. Jones only has 1 point, but he is distributed really well. And Anderson, offensive foul. And that will take us to the under 4 media timeout. Both teams cooled off offensively the past few minutes. Bears only 1 for their last 5. Coker 1 for their last 6. We're tied at 26 with under 4 to go on the Bears Sports Network.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
3:39 to go before halftime. Tied at 26 here on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. Glad to be sponsored by Domino's as well. Located just a few blocks from campus on 2nd Street, Domino's is a proud supporter of LR Athletics. Order using the Domino's app and have it delivered for your next game day watch party And LR students, don't forget, you can use your Bear Bucks at Domino's. Only one for their last 5 from the floor is LR. You're right, Blake. This zone is different than what the Bears saw last Saturday against Carson Newman as Tyson puts it on the floor. Too strong. Joseph on the offensive glass cleans it up.
Great activity by PJ there, working hard on the offensive glass. It will clean up that Nas Tyson miss for easy putback.
Joseph with a deflection there. And then a steal for Kangu. Lagania on the run out. Slashing. Short. Wilson there. Kangu got his defender in the air. One dribble. Joseph tried to flush it on the putback, but didn't come up with it clean. And it's an empty possession for the Bears.
PJ's had a nice couple minutes here coming over for that block, and then that putback and another opportunity for a putback there.
Jones, a full head of steam. The scoop shot off the glass and in. The sophomore, only 4.5 points per game, has 4 now, and breaks a 2+ minute scoring drought for the Cobras. Wilson in the middle of the zone. Floater off front iron. Joseph again. 3 offensive rebounds in a row for P.J. Joseph, and he's awarded with free throws here.
PJ taking advantage of those minutes like we talked about. With TJ out, he's been getting a little more extended time right now, and he's been productive.
Gets the friendly shooter's roll there. Hit every part of the rim and the backboard.
We'll take him any way we can get him.
That's right. Nas Tyson, actually, the last time these two met, had 18 points. That was his career high up until he put up 21 in 2 out of his last 3. PJ only played 3 minutes in that first game. Didn't score, but hits both free throws there. Gives the Bears a 2-point lead as Cooper Fowler comes in for him. Last home game of January for the Bears. 2 road games next week at Mars Hill and at Tusculum. First meeting of the season between LR and Mars Hill. That looked like a travel on the perimeter, didn't get called. Jones with 5 to shoot. Between the legs, stops and starts and gets ripped by Kangu. Kevin doesn't have the numbers and pulls it back. And it'll stay with the Bears off of Onioti there in the corner. Onioti's been quiet. Go ahead, Blake.
Kevin did a good job there. Digging down, getting his hand on the ball would look like Coker had an advantage on that drive. So great job by Kevin there being active.
Ball stolen by Jones as they tried to throw it up to Fowler.
Tricky spot to take it out there, dead corner. Bears weren't able to execute and get it in bounds.
9 first half turnovers for LR. There have been games where they haven't turned it over 9 times. 12 to shoot as Fordham backs it out. 2-man game between Jones and Fordham. Now they get Anderson involved. Short corner jumper is pure for DeMar Anderson, the freshman from Charlotte, just down the road here from Hickory. Coker's got a bunch of guys that average around 4 to 6 points per game, and if they can get more than that on any given night from any of those guys, they could be dangerous down the stretch to some teams. And Anderson is one of those guys. As Janarius Snell comes back into the game for the Cobras. 47.5 to go before halftime in this tie ball game.
Yeah, Coach Mayo does a great job at Coker. It's never an easy game. Even though they might be a little undermanned or under-talented, he gets the most out of them.
Kangu, a high arcer, finds the bottom.
So far, a good call on your leading scorer that we talked about off air.
That's right.
Kevin started hot.
4 threes in the first half for Kevin Kangu. 14 points.
this could be a little blessing in disguise. They're able to get Kevin going a little bit with Jalen and TJ out, give him that third option, which he's been most of the year, but he's kind of taking a back seat the last couple games.
7-second difference between game and shot clock. Jones has to go and does. To the rim, left it short, and now the Bears with a chance. End of the half. McLean pulls up, way too strong, and now a chance for Fordham. Half-court heave, off the backboard and out. So, for the third consecutive game, Lenoir-Rhyne is ahead at halftime, 33-30, and they will try to change their fortunes in the second half. They were up against Carson Newman last Saturday. They were up double digits against Wingate on Wednesday night, and then we'll try to put two halves together and finish this one out here against a Coker team that they've already beaten this year, as now we have our halftime entertainment starting to roll. This is the Oz Jewelers putt for diamonds. Our contestant gets one shot to make a court-length putt for a prize of a pair of diamond earrings. If this goes in,
let's see if this contestant can get closer than our last one. He putted it into the corner by those stairs.
Almost had to say 4 the last time they did this. But because of the limited fans, we're showing you the on-court promotion. This is promising.
Just a little
bit left. It was the right speed. That sounds like me putting. Right speed, wrong line, right?
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
Oh, it's always one or the other, unless it goes in.
Right. It's either the right speed, wrong line, right line, wrong speed. I miss golf. The snow on the ground is depressing. 3-point lead for the Bears at halftime over Coker. Back in about 14 for the second half on the Bears Sports Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Everything the light touches will be yours. You must remember who you are. The one true champion. We are LR.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are LR. We are LR.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work. Introducing True Energy infrared technology socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery. Proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR Athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Halftime inside the shoe, about 3 minutes before we roll on the second half. Here's our halftime stats presented by East Coast Wings and Grill, which sounds really good right now. 3-point Bear lead over Coker, 33-30. Coker shoots 50%, 11 for 22 in the first half, but the difference, Blake, is the threes. The Bears have 7, and Coker only has 3. 3 for 11 in the first half. Bears perfect from the free throw line, only 2 for 2, but Bears shot it well over the zone in the first half. We'll see if they can keep it up in the second.
Yep, the stats reminiscent of a three-point game. Like you said, obviously Coker is about 10 percentage points better from the field, but the threes, the Bears are 50%. I mean, that's made it up, and then Coker's made up some of those threes points that the Bears have made with their free throws, getting 5. So numbers it's been a pretty even game, I think. In the locker room, Coach Lovin talked about cutting down on turnovers, probably trying to drive the zone a little bit, get into the meat of it, and then get kick-out threes, which I know he prefers. Almost everybody prefers in basketball as opposed to around the horn. So just some things the Bears had to work on, talk about, and I'm sure it'll be a focus as we get going here in the second half.
Kevin Kangu with 14 points to lead all scorers. Janarius Snell with 10 for Coker, including 2 threes. And 10 points in the first half. Coker got to the foul line 7 times, made 5 of them. And the Bears out-rebounding Coker 18-10. These two teams are in the bottom 20 in the country in rebounding. Coker is 279th. There are 298, I believe, Division II schools. Coker is 279th in rebounding with 31.6 per game. Lenoir-Rhyne is 293rd with 29.8. But the Bears very much have the advantage in the first half, out-rebounding the Cobras 18-10.
Yep, and I think the one stat that'll stand out is only 1 offensive rebound for Coker. I know Coach Silva's going to be pleased about that, as I'm sure it's been an emphasis pretty much all year, but they're able to execute in the first half against Coker.
And 8 of those rebounds for the Bears were on the offensive glass. Sal Wilson and P.J. Joseph each with 4 rebounds apiece to pace LR. But it'll be the starting 5 on the floor to start the second half for the Bears. Sal Wilson, Nas Tyson, Kevin Kangu, Tyson McLean, and Cooper Fowler. Coop with 7 first half points, including a couple layups and a 3. But I think the story is Kevin Kangu. You know, you mentioned earlier that was kind of the third option scoring with Johnson and Naismith both healthy, which is true. But he is as talented of a scorer as there is in this conference when he's at his best. And certainly that's been on display the past few games with Johnson out. And Naismith played on Wednesday night, but not very much, and is not playing today.
Yep.
Good set for Coker. Gets an open 3 for Snell, but he missed it. And Nas Tyson, you can tell he's got a little bit of a
I didn't notice
limp
in
his giddy up.
I didn't notice in the first half. I don't know if sitting for the halftime, he's got to warm it back up.
Kangu off the bounce. 18-footer is short. Here comes Jordan Jones with some numbers. Gives it off to Fordham, who gets stripped by Tyson McLean. The Bears' transition defense tonight has been phenomenal. Wilson spins, runs into a man, but Fowler collects it and puts it in. Jared Merrill wanted to travel, didn't get it. I heard the official say it's either a foul or it's either defensive foul or nothing. So quiet first half for Onioti. Had 7 points, but just didn't seem very involved in the Coker offense. Jones gets right to the rim. He's done well off the bounce today.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication by the Bears there on the ball screen defense led to Coker being able to get a wide open layup.
Another offensive rebound leads to a corner 3 for Kangu. Cooper Fowler made that play and gets the assist on Kangu's 5th three of the game. Jordan Jones, who's the point guard in this game for Coker, played 2 minutes in the first meeting in November. That just goes to show how things can so drastically change over the course of such a long season that basketball is. He pulls up here, knocks it down. Playing with confidence is the sophomore, whose minutes have steadily increased as the year has gone on.
Yeah, he's played a really good game here so far today. And like you said, getting more and more responsibility as the season goes, proving himself, and taking advantage of the opportunity.
Fowler lost it, got doubled, and just didn't really know what he wanted to do with it there. Another turnover for LR. The leading scorer in the first matchup between these two teams for Coker was Malcolm Kennedy, and he hasn't played in a few weeks. He scored 17 that night. Chandler Lindsay as well was the second leading scorer. We haven't seen him today as Fordham gets the reverse layup to go. Tyson in rhythm. Didn't have a chance. Onioti. Open three for Snell, and he knocks it down.
Nice little
Snell, go ahead. No, you go
nice
ahead.
little set there by Coker. It looked like they were going to set a back screen for the big to dive across the lane, but it turned out to be a down screen for the shooter and just a little mix-up on the coverage. Just taking advantage of good defensive principles. Coker was there and able to get a good three-point shot.
Third three for Snell gives the Cobras the lead. Wilson to the corner. Kangu pivots, fades. Missed everything. Coker's largest lead in this game has been 2 points. They're up by 1 right now. Jones kicks. Onioti doesn't take many of these, and maybe that's why.
I think so. I think the Bears will live with Onioti shooting that shot.
McLean in rhythm off the pass from Kangu. Off front iron. Onioti rips down the rebound.
Tyson just hasn't been able to quite find it today and just in general this year. It just been frustrating for him, coaching staff, everybody involved.
Now 8 for 38 from 3 this year is Tyson McLean. 10 to shoot. Jones resets. Screen coming from Onioti. In the middle of 3 white jerseys, Kangu's got the ball. Tyson almost stole it from him. And now people just rolling along, and they finally blow the whistle. And I assume it's going to be a held ball, which would favor the Bears. It is a held ball, and it is immediate timeout. Good start to the second half for Coker, up 1 on the Bears.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
15:04 to go. 1 point lead for Coker over Lenoir-Rhyne here on the Bears Sports Network. Proudly sponsored by Paramount Automotive. You should be driving a Hyundai from Paramount Hyundai in Hickory, where every new Hyundai comes standard with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Shop online for new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs at ParamountHyundai.com. Good start offensively to the second half for Coker.
Yeah, this has been the opposite for the Bears, which has kind of been their Achilles heel recently.
Whole season.
Yeah, it's not always the second half, but they always, at some point, kind of hit a dry spell from the field and have been unable to score, and that's hurt them all year.
A little bit of full court pressure put on here by the Cobras. Lagania, Steele, and Medwinter are in the game for the Bears. There's Damian Medwinter, sophomore from Trumbull, Connecticut. Thought about a three. Steele shot fake. And will take this three from the wing. Off the front iron. Rebound run down there by Bynum. Bears go into a zone themselves.
Yep.
Talked about this in the Carson Newman game. You zone the zone teams. That one spins out, but an offensive rebound for Oneoti.
Yep. Fordham's been a little stagnant. Coker. Fordham had the ball. Has been a little stagnant. Seeing this 3-2, so, yeah, like we talked about, it's funny how it seems like teams struggle to attack, but they do as a team, so Bears going to the 3-2 to try and switch up the rhythm against Coker.
Oneoti will head to the free throw line as Malik Lagania called for the foul. That's the first foul called in the second half on either side. We're over 6 minutes in. And the first whistle, at least for a foul, here in the second half. But hadn't really been a whole lot to call for the refs. Oneoti rattles the first one in.
It's been a clean game throughout the whole game. There wasn't many fouls called in the first half either. So
Marcus Metcalf has 2 fouls, but he's the only one with 2 fouls. Bynum also has 2 for Coker, but Coker has been called for 4 fouls the entire game. And LR's been called for 6, so it really hadn't been many. Still some full court pressure. Bears have to hurry to get it across, and Tyson does. Steele doubled. Cross court pass to Medwinter. Toe on the line, long 2 is good. Damian Medwinter gets in the scorebook today after he scored 5 on Wednesday night at Wingate.
Got a little hairy there, breaking the pressure, but able to get it to Dame, and he was knocked down to rhythm pull up.
Just a 1-point lead for Coker. Anderson an open 3. That's nothing but nylon there for DeMar Anderson. Freshman from Charlotte shoots it just over 30% from deep. It's his first one today. Oneoti the assist. The other way, Steele, physical, missed the shot. Ball tipped around and grabbed by Oneoti. Those are the ones you have to have if you're the Bears. That was a good look for Tim Steele.
Yep, good job by the Bears there. Getting it around the rim, just like you said, got to finish those.
Bears have only scored 2 points. That Medwinter jumper the last almost 6 minutes. So it's just like clockwork almost in these second halves for the Bears, these cold streaks. And a turnover there. Maybe a chance for a run out. Late offense. And a great find from Steele to Lagania, who will have free throws, but upset with himself that he wasn't able to finish that one.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating, as I'm sure the coaching staff and the players, they know what it is, and I bet they feel like they probably feel like they're not doing anything differently. Shots just don't seem to fall, so it's something they got to.
I don't know what the delay is here. That was the second foul on Oneoti. No, I'm sorry, the first on Oneoti. Malik Lagania, who was 11 for 21 from the foul line this year, swishes the first. P.J. Joseph, who gave the Bears great minutes in the front court, especially on the offensive glass in the first half, comes in. And Lagania transfer from Coastal Carolina. His health has limited him to only about 17.5 minutes per game this year, but he's got both of those free throws. The lead is back to 2 for Coker. Post touch for Bynum, right at the elbow. Jab step and picked up the dribble, but cutting backdoor was Anderson. Onioti, another three. This one is good. 32% from the outside. Doesn't shoot a ton of them, as I said earlier, but has that one. The lead is back to 5. Kangu, the only Bear in double figures with 17. Medwinter, physical, doesn't get the roll. Joseph is physical and gets fouled on the rebound. And there's a Cobra down. I think it's Onioti. There, hit his head on the ground there after the foul. But he's up and good. And that will take us to the under 12 media timeout. LR basketball, when you come back to the shoe on the Bear Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
11:37 to go in this one. 5-point lead for Coker over Lenoir-Rhyne. Bear basketball out of the timeout. LR hasn't done much on offense in this second half. Only 3 for 11 from the floor. Scored 9 points. Tyson barely gets it in. I think that was about 4.5 seconds. Back in the zone is Coker. Lagania had the right idea to give it off to Joseph, but just couldn't get it to him, and another turnover. The 11th for the Bears, so now over their season average of 10.5 turnovers per game here with 11 minutes to go.
Coker's doing a good job. Sometimes when you find out that a team's best player, 2 best players go out, you get a little relaxed, but Coker's doing a good job. Come out here, played hard.
Anderson, another 3, his second of the half. And the freshman from Charlotte is lighting it up here in the second half, and this is the largest lead of the day for Coker. Bears have shot the ball well from 3 in the first half. Haven't hardly taken any here in the second. Kangu leans, fades. Off the right iron. Joseph again on the offensive glass. Missed the Wingate game on Wednesday due to COVID protocols. Only 4 points, an assist, a block, and in 6 minutes has racked up a ton of rebounds, but those were 2 pretty ugly-looking free throws there. Errol asking a question, but there are a few things that are black and white in basketball officiating. Most everything is subjective, but the new rules put in place last year, Bears only get 20. Tyson a 3. He's got another one. Nas, his second 3, coming off a 21-point performance in his homecoming game at Wingate, finally getting going here.
Huge shot. Bears needed something.
Jones through contact. Ball tipped around and grabbed by Medwinter. Also 5 rebounds and 3 assists for Tyson, taking on a much larger ball handling role today. Kangu shot fake. Medwinter feeds Fowler at the free throw line. Coop puts it on the floor, almost turns it over, and then does turn it over. Bynum the steal as he tried to feed it to Lagana down low.
Just got to have a little bit of feel, the zone. It's going to be people in arms reaching in there. Just
basketball is such a game of inches, and it's cliche to say, but those are the plays you got to look back at in these one-possession games that the Bears have found themselves in.
No, he's had a really good game for Coker, and I feel like majority of those points have come here in the second half. In the first 12 minutes of the second half, he's been a bright spot here for Coker.
Got to get Kevin Kangu going. Lagana, left-handed drive. Free throws on its way. So Malik Lagana will be at the free throw line after the under 8 timeout. We'll take it with him on the Bears Sports Network.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
Under 8 timeout in the shoe. 7-point lead for Coker over Lenoir-Rhyne. Second half presented by Pepsi of Hickory, locally owned and operated since 1925. Thank you for filling your coolers with Pepsi this fall and winter. Thank you for allowing us to serve you all these years. Pepsi, born in the Carolinas, raised in Hickory. Free throws coming from Malik Lagana, who has scored both of his points tonight from the foul line. But in the second half, LR led by 2 at halftime as Lagana gets the friendly roll. Coker has outscored the Bears 22-13 here in the second half, and LR is only 4 for 15 from the field. That's a far cry from the near 50% they shot in the first half. Lagana way too strong with the second free throw, and the Bears will continue the full court press. Easily broken by the Cobras. Jordan Jones, who has taken the reins of this point guard position today for Coker. 10 points, 4 of 8 shooting, 4 rebounds, a couple assists and a steal for a guy that played 2 minutes in the first meeting between these two back in November. 3 for Snell, finds the bottom. Janarius' third 3 of the game. He's got 16 points. This is the largest Coker lead at 9. Kangu finds Lagana, can't finish. That's a good look. Bears have gotten some decent ones in the back end of that zone, but just have not been able to finish most of them here in the second half.
No, I think that's their 5th missed layup, which will, depending on how this game ends up, haunt them for sure.
Obviously missing 2 of their top 3 scorers in point guard Jalen Johnson and forward TJ Naismith. Anderson Nifty footwork in the lane, drops that one in. And for the first time today, the lead is double digits. Steele faked the pass, takes the three off the heel. The top of the backboard. Tyson, the smallest guy in there, fights for the rebound and nearly gets an and one. Jared Merrill pleading with the officials that Steele's shot should have been out of bounds, but I think that he's wrong. It's got to go over the top of the backboard. The top of the backboard is still in bounds. Tyson only 6 for 11 from the foul line coming in, makes the first. Junior from Wingate just scored 21 points in his homecoming game.
Yeah, like we talked about, he's had 3 really good games back to back.
He's the all-time leading scorer at Forest Hills High School in Wingate. Splits the pair, back to 10. Just feels like Jones, the sophomore point guard, has been in complete control this entire game, especially in the second half. Onioti. Offensive foul. Tim Steele slides in and takes the charge. Janarius Snell whistled for the foul. That's his second. And the 5th on Coker here with 5:52 to go. Bears have only committed 1 foul here in the second half, so been a clean defensive game for LR, especially this half. Only been whistled for 6 fouls the entire game. Elijah Shabazz is in the game for the first time. Junior from Raleigh. Seen more action in Johnson's absence. Cross-court pass to Metcalf, an open 3. Can't get the roll. That was a good look.
Yeah, great look. Great find by Elijah, skipping it opposite corner off the ball screen. And that's a shot you expect Marcus to hit more times than not.
This is Bynum. Bynum has 4 fouls as Tim Steele is called for the foul, holding the cutter there. And Snell will come back in.
Carfley,
for the first time, Ryan Carfley comes in, 6'10" sophomore from Marion, South Carolina. He's been hit or miss minute-wise this year. Gets some run here late in the last 5+ minutes of this game. Jones with 10 on the shot clock. Gets into the lane and turns it over. A steal from Shabazz. Run-out opportunity here for the Bears. Elijah loses it, but gets fouled. That's the 7th team foul on Coker, if the scoreboard is correct, which it is. They were missing a foul earlier, so that's number 7 this half. So Elijah Shabazz will shoot 1 and 1. He's only 5 for 14 from the free throw line this year. It's actually 2 shots. They called it a shooting foul, but Shabazz rolls out the first one. And the lead remains 10 with 5 minutes even to go in this one. Final home game of January for the Bears, who travel to Mars Hill to take on the Lions for the first time this season on Wednesday as Shabazz comes up empty. Can't afford that if you're LR. And then a rematch with Tusculum, but Shabazz steals it back in the press. Gives it off to Tyson. So Elijah makes up for his free throw misses there. Back to 8. Another tip. And Coker turns it over again. Kangu, cross-court pass to Tyson. Gives it off. Metcalf. Tyson an open 3 from the corner. He's got it. Big shot there from Naz Tyson. Timeout, Coker. The full court pressure making things happen for the Bears, who have cut this thing back to 5. It's a media timeout. We'll take it with them. As LR making things interesting down the stretch here inside the shoe.
Be sure to join us as we celebrate this exciting day.
Back here in the shoe, second half presented by Carolina West Wireless. The fastest speeds, national 4G LTE coverage at a hometown price. Carolina West Wireless is proud to be the official wireless partner of the Bears. So a quick little 6-0 spurt there for the Bears, who have not allowed a point in over 2 minutes. Blake, the full court press has been effective here down the stretch.
It has. It has. It's been helpful for the Bears to get back in this game.
Coker breaks it this time as Fordham dribbles himself into the corner and turns it over again. Shabazz. Head to Kangu, but the ball lands out of bounds. Looked like Shabazz might have gotten fouled there as he was dribbling down the court, but no call.
Yep.
So a break there for Coker after Fordham turned it over again in the press.
A little surprised Coach Sully took the press off there after how much success they've been having, but just going to try and sit in the half court and get a stop.
Jones doubled and a foul called. Foul is on Shabazz as Jones got trapped but got down the stretch we come here inside the shoe. Bears trying to scrap their way back into this one. We're down by 11 at one point here, not that long ago in the second half, but a little 6-0 spurt for LR has gotten them right back into the thick of this thing. Eric Bach and Blake Simmons, glad you are with us on this early Saturday evening inside the shoe.
Here we go.
Both teams desperately need a win. Bears have lost 10 out of their last 11. Coker's lost 4 straight. LR without 2 of their major players today. Is Onioti too strong on the 3? And here come the Bears. An eternity left in this game, so no need to go too fast if you're LR. Nas Tyson, 14 more points today, fouling up 21 in the last 2. Metcalf an open 3, short, but he grabs his own miss, falls down, and the ball goes back to Coker. Coach Sully begging with the officials for a foul there, but looks like Metcalf just kind of tripped over his own feet. Anderson and Jones, those have been the guys here in the second half for Coker. This is Jordan Jones, gives it off to Fordham. This is the man that's been shooting threes all day long, Janarius Snell. With his 5th 3 of the game, he's got 19 points. Average just over 8 points per game coming in, so way past that today. Tyson, crossover, dumps it off. Lagania blocked. Snell with the rejection on the other end.
Got it the way he wanted to, but good play by Coker there to block Malik there and prevent the easy two.
Metcalf pokes it away from Jones and then fouled. Metcalf was ahead of the pack, and Jones grabbed him, and Marcus will be shooting 1-1. But what a boost he's provided defensively off the bench. Because the officials are getting together and maybe discussing upgrading this, but it was not a long discussion. And it'll just be a regular foul. Marcus's just 4th free throw attempt of the year is perfect. And he's 2 for 2. Says a lot about a guy that for a good stretch of games never saw the floor. And now the past few he's been asked to do a lot more and hasn't really missed a beat when he's come in.
You're right. No, he's done a great job staying ready. His number is called, and for the most part, he's taking advantage of his minutes so far.
Under 2 to go. Lead is 6 for Coker. Anderson backs it out with 10 on the shot clock and gives it off to Jones. Have to hurry here if you're Coker. Jones off the screen, dumps it off, turns it over. Kangu looks to push, gives it off. Open look for McLean. In rhythm. Knocks it down. It's a 3-point game.
Great job by Kevin there, driving and kicking in transition to Tyson, who hasn't had the best shooting night tonight, but stayed confident, was able to knock that one down to bring the Bears within 3.
You said it, that play was made by Kangu, who has 5 steals in the game, including that last one. 35 minutes, has barely come off the floor, just like Wednesday night in the Wingate game. The Bears, as a team, have 12 steals. And given that they turned the ball over 8 times in the first half, 9 times in the first half, which is 1 below their season average, only 5 here in the second half, has allowed themselves to hang around here and be within striking distance in the last 94 seconds of this one. 2 good games today between LR and Coker. Cobras snuck out a close 1-point overtime win over the Bears in our first game.
Yeah, very similar game.
True.
Plot lines have unfolded here.
And Coker had an opportunity in this game to pull away, and they didn't do it. And that was the exact same way in the women's game. The Bears came storming back, forced overtime, jumped ahead in overtime, but Coker, cool customers, was able to weather that storm and come out with the win. Coker men trying to do the same. They break the press here, but bind him into the trap. Anderson fouled. Just the 4th team foul on LR. It's on McLean. So still a couple fouls to give for the Bears. But I think the plan is to foul. You see Coach Sullivan here saying go for the ball. I'm not sure why that would be.
Yeah, I think he just wants them to be aggressive even if they do foul. No harm.
Especially with the fouls to give. And there's another. He says it's fine. Coach Sully does. So now, still 1 more foul to give before the bonus. That's just the 5th on LR. Snell, who's been the man of the hour for Coker. 5 threes in the game, triggers it in. Anderson doubled. Kicks it out. This is the guy. Just rims out. Kangu wins the rebound back for the Bears.
About as good a look as you could hope for Coker there for Snell, who, like you said, has been hot. Been hot so far today.
7 for 12 from the floor and 5 for 10 from 3. Bears can tie with a 3, but it's not necessarily necessary at this point, the 3. over a minute to go. Nearly a turnover as Snell jumped in that passing lane. Steele thought about the three.
Got time.
10 on the shot clock. McLean drives, nearly loses it. Metcalf a three for the tie, way short. Tyson the putback, also short.
Right.
Back to LR, or back to Coker, pardon me. Not a great look there from Marcus Metcalf in the corner, as Jared Merrill will call a timeout with 47.9. And the Bears pressing out of it. But still, 17, 18-second difference between game and shot clock. Bears can defend without fouling here on this possession and still be fine.
Yeah, you're right. It's just always the debates, like if you do guard and they end up making it, then it's maybe a 5 or 6 point game with 17 seconds left, and the possessions get. I'm sure they'll try and press here and try and get a turnover, obviously, and they got a foul to give, so they can be super aggressive here in this first possession. But that's just a choice, like you said, that they can most definitely, they'll have about theoretically 18 seconds left. They're able to get the stop, which is obviously more than enough time, but if Coker's able to score, it changes the whole ball game with 18 seconds left. So we'll see what the Bears do here, but I'm sure they'll be aggressive here to start it, because if you pick up a foul, they just take it back out.
The officials are talking about whether or not it should be a spot free throw, and it definitely should be because there was no made basket, and it is. Bears pressing. They get it into Anderson and back to Fordham. Oh, and a foul there. Coker nearly turned it over. I don't know who the foul was on. That's just the 6th team foul on the Bears, so now the next one puts them in the bonus. Man, I don't know. So with 43, now they foul Anderson. And the Coker bench is asking for more than a common foul there, but they will not get it. So 1-1 coming for DeMar Anderson, who has yet to attempt a free throw today, 64% on the season. 1-1. Yeah, that was a tough break for the Bears when that first foul was called, because that was about to be a run out.
It absolutely was.
Anderson makes them both. Back to 5. Still in the zone. Timeout LR. 31 seconds to go. 20 on the shot clock. 5-point deficit. Everett Sullivan calls the 30-second timeout. Where do you go here? Kangu? Tyson? Either one of those seem to be decent options.
Yep. I mean, either one.
So both teams in the bonus. And nobody in real foul trouble other than Glenn Bynum for Coker, who has 4. But the Cobras, Anderson has 3, but other than that, really no issues. And the Bears don't. Marcus Metcalf has 3, and nobody else for LR even has 3 fouls. 31 seconds to go. Kangu out of the timeout. Crossover, floater. Blocking foul and 1.
Wow. Big turnaround for the Bears there. Kevin able to get there and get the potential 3-point play the old-fashioned way.
Well, that was about as well as the possession could have gone for the Bears. as Kangu completes the three-point play. And Bynum will come back in. Metcalf will come back in for the Bears as well. So Lagana, Kangu, Metcalf, McLean, and Naz Tyson, the 5. Press is on. Ball nearly turned over there, but Bynum gets ahead and fouled. So 1-1 for Glenn Bynum as McLean is called for the foul. That's the 8th foul on the Bears. Bynum, 69% free throw shooter, has yet to attempt one today. And misses. Now it's a 2-point game with 15 to go. Bears can tie or win. Neverick Sullivan will call a timeout with 12 and a half. So this last 30 seconds of game time could not have gone better for LR with the 5-point deficit. You go for the 2 or the 3 here?
Ooh.
I say 3.
Yeah, I think you draw up a play for a 3, and if something breaks down and you're able to get a 2.
Got to take the 3 with like 4 or 5 seconds to go, though, so you can have a chance for a rebound, I think.
Oh, yeah. You got to take it. Whatever shot, you got to get it as early as possible just so you can extend the game if you aren't able to knock down the shot. So whatever they're doing, you would think it's going to be a pretty quick play so they can, if they miss, they're able to extend this game with a few more possessions.
Kangu's got 20. That's ties his season high, which happened in the first meeting against Wingate here in November. Tyson with 14. It has been, obviously you got 2 of your 3 top scorers in Jalen Johnson and TJ Naismith out. That is a lot of offense. That's 25-ish points per game not playing.
Absolutely is.
So that's a big difference. But the Bears defensively have really stepped up to the challenge today in their absence.
Yeah, they've done a good job defensively. Obviously 62 points. You'll take that defensively in any basketball game. So they're just looking to capitalize here on this opportunity to tie it up and take the lead. 12 seconds left.
Women's game, it was almost this exact scenario, and the Bears were called for travel. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. Tyson. Kangu. One dribble for the lead. Air ball. Back to Coker. 4.7 to go. Wasn't a great look out of the timeout. And Jared Merrill will call a timeout to try to get the Cobras organized here with 4.7 to go, but probably want a better look than that out of a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you definitely do. Short clock, short time. You got to get something up, but yeah, you probably want a better look, but still got a chance, slight chance here. Ideally, you're forcing a turnover on the inbounds pass. Able to tie it up, or maybe the 3, but probably tie it up and play extra 5 minutes.
Played overtime in the women's game. May as well play overtime in the men's game, but what do you think Jared Merrill's drawing up here to break the press? They've gotten better against the press as the game has gone along, but the first few possessions that the Bears put the full court press on, Coker really struggled with it.
Yeah, there's a couple different things. They might go four across the free throw line, or they might keep 2 back, so there's more space for 2 up in the front court to get open. It'll be interesting to see.
So they bring Percy File onto the floor, the sophomore from Charlotte, 6'8", to guard the basketball. You see him right there.
Little confusion coming out of timeout.
His first action of the game. File guarding the ball. To get it in, and a foul with 3.4 as Snell came flying in to grab that pass, and File called for the foul. So still 1-1. That was the 9th team foul on the Bears. But if Snell, obviously the Bears need Snell to miss one of these two, but if Snell misses the first one, Bears have got to be organized enough to get down the floor and get a quality shot off. 3.4 is time to go all the way down, I think.
3, they usually say a dribble per second. That might be tough to get all the way down the floor.
Maybe 2 dribbles then.
Yeah, probably best case is maybe a half-court shot.
Snell's first free throw attempt today. Spins out. Steal the rebound. Kangu at the buzzer for the win. Oh, it almost went in. It almost went in, but Coker survives.
A lot of contact there, too. Maybe if it wasn't at the end of the game, it might have been a blocking foul on the Coker player there. I think they got a little lucky there.
Wow.
That was so close. So close.
Yeah. There was a lot of contact down there, whether that be before the shot or I think it was probably before the shot was the most contact. But
yeah, if they would have called that, they would have had the chance to get to the free throw line, which obviously would have been good for the Bears. But even with that being said, right off the back of the rim for Kevin would have been a huge shot, obviously, to get the win. But
wow,
Bears fought, just weren't able to pull it out at the end.
With 2 guys missing, 2 really important guys missing, it was a pretty good effort today from LR. But once again, just the execution down the stretch. They only make one of their last 5 shots, and in close games like this, you can point to so many different variables about things that could have gone differently for the Bears. As we take a look at our LR player of the game, presented by Domino's, it's Kevin Kangu. He said he needed to have a big game on offense, and he did. 20 points, 5 steals, 5 made threes. I mean, not sure the Bears can ask for too much more from him.
Nope, you're right. They can't. Just wasn't able to get that 6-3 made, which obviously would have been huge with a half-court shot. But, yeah, he played. He stepped up for the Bears without the top 2 players so at this point in the year. So, good game from Kevin overall. Obviously didn't end the way the Bears wanted to, but Kevin individually played a pretty good game.
Averaging 19.5 points per game over his last 2. As we take a look at our Coker player of the game, it's Snell. I mean, 7 for 12 from the field, 5 threes, and missed the free throw there at the end that really could have iced the game for Coker, but those threes,
they were huge.
They did it for Coker in the second half. So, players of the game presented by Domino's. So the Bears will hit the road, as I mentioned earlier, for the next week. Road game Wednesday at Mars Hill, 7:30 p.m. tip over at Mars Hill, and then a trip to Tusculum for a 4 p.m. tip on Saturday is the next week for the Bears. Our final broadcast of January is today. We thank you for joining us for it. LR falls close to Coker, 62-60. For Blake Simmons and the rest of our fantastic Bears Sports Network crew, Eric Bach saying so long from the shoe. Coker wins it 62-60 on the Bears Sports Network.